Hey everyone, Neve here with the Rainbow Cauldron, and this is your weekly general reading for April 14th through the 20th, 2019. Alright, so this week we are using the Animal Spirit Oracle deck, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. That is the deck that I've been using because it's new and I'm still trying to get used to it. And the tarot deck I'm using this week is the Green Witch Tarot by Anne Mora. And Anne Mora is one of my favorite pagan authors, and I quite like this deck, and it's actually pretty new also. I just haven't really gotten the chance to really play with it much. Alright, so if you're new here, what I do is I pull one card from an oracle deck, and that will represent the general theme of the week, something to think about. And then I will pull 3 cards from a tarot deck, which will represent the general flow of energy throughout the week. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so this week we have the dragon. Alright, great. So, since this deck is new to me, I want to get a feel of the card before I read the book and see what the book, what its intentions were for this card. With this card, obviously we see right smack dab in the center, we see that eye, that all-knowing eye, you know, and even the symbol is open. It's, I think that's their spirit symbol. So it's like an all-knowing eye, observing, and then just, you know, the rainbow around it just, to me, symbolizes all the knowledge coming in, and here we have just this searing, all-seeing eye. So let's see what the book says for, the dragon here. So it's a spirit card, so it's probably going to be at the end. Oh, and here it is. All right. So, dragon, seeing one's true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see bounty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. Many even just mention the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. All right, so yeah, so I mean, all-seeing eye here. I sort of think of this as, you know, seeing one's true self, kind of observing, almost as a spectator, you know, to gather information that way, to really see what's going on, within yourself and what's going on around you, and just having that knowledge, self-awareness, awareness of everything, more of an enlightenment, just being really enlightened about what's going on. All right, so that's the theme for the week. So let's see what the tarot cards tell us. All right, so we have the 6 of Pentacles, okay, the 8 of Wands, and the Queen of Athames. All right, so right off the bat, one thing that I'm really noticing with this is there's flowers are really featured prominently here. And I'm gonna flip through the cards real quick just to see how much these are featured, and this little bird that is in each one of these cards, because I don't know, I'm not as familiar with this deck, so these may be features that are in every card, yeah, so I just want to make sure that this is a feature that is unique to these 3 cards, or is something that's in all the cards. Okay, so it seems that the flowers are actually quite unique to these 3 cards, so I think that's quite pertinent, this floral energy here. However, while the birds really stand out to me and sort of make me think of, you know, that like a little bird told me sort of things, like that's the view of seeing everything, you know, connected to this dragon. This deck does have, almost every card does have a animal companion, and much of them are birds, so I don't know that I'll exactly focus on the bird since it is so prevalent within this deck, but these flowers are pretty pertinent to these 3 cards themselves. There are some flowers in a few other cards, but these really, it's not a feature that's prominent throughout the deck. So I think of these, you know, I really see these flowers here. It's almost like we are working on the same thing. And so the 6 of Pentacles is a card that's about generosity, and it's about sharing, and you know, sharing the bounty, and kind of an increase of wealth, gifts, and things like that. And it's actually kind of funny because this week, my husband's birthday is this week, and there's another birthday in our family this week, so we actually have a lot of birthday parties this week. So this gift-giving card actually sort of makes me think of that. But that aside, it is a general card about increase, about you know, increase in money, supplies, sharing, being very generous. Now, I do notice with this card that this character here is hiding what looks like dice behind his hand here. And the downside of the 6 of Pentacles is that we have this sharing and giving, but it comes at a risk. We do have to take our chances in, we kind of have to gamble sometimes, and sometimes we will invest in someone or give our time or energy or money or supplies to someone who doesn't deliver. And we see that here with this man here who does have dice behind his back, and with this woman here who seems quite poor and thin and frail. So, you know, this woman is paying for the flowers here. This person is sort of gambling. So there is a gamble with being generous, but hopefully in the long term, the rewards outweigh that gamble. And with the 8 of Wands here, now the 8 of Wands is, it's a card about news, about news traveling fast, or about an increase in progress and things like that. But here we see someone who's very much sitting still. However, she's already laid everything out. Everything's ready and prepared. So it's more of the right before this next step of swift movement and progress. So that's sort of what I see here. And really, she's observed, and that's what we see here, the observation of everything in front of us. And which brings me to the Queen of Athames. So the Queen of Athames is really telling us to step back for a second, and before we jump into this quick progress, before we really take a chance on things, let's observe, and let's take a step back and from the progress, and observe and analyze and focus the energy before we set it in motion. And that's, I think that goes back to this dragon here, where this is really about observation and being aware of any gambles, any malintentions, and before we jump ahead and start jumping into that progress, we have to step back and really make sure everything is prepared and in order. All right, so that's the reading for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week of increase, and I will see you next week. Blessed be.